All right, guys, we're at the home stretch here, day number 7 of our entertainment lockdown industry chats. I want to welcome you guys for coming, all the attendees, all the familiar names that I've been seeing for 7 days straight. I really appreciate you jumping in here. I know you may not have anything better to do, but it's cool that you're learning some stuff instead of just watching Tiger King, which is also a really dope show. Topical. Well, cool. Well, today we kind of want to tie it all together, tie a nice bow on the entire week. You know, we talked about the issues that artists are having. We chatted about some solutions, what PR is doing, management, but I guess the common denominator I kept hearing throughout the entire week was what was saving some of the artists that were doing well was their fan engagement, their fan interaction. And that means more than just a bunch of likes on Instagram, but like their one-on-one connection with their community and with the art that the artists have with the fans and the fans have with the artists. So that being said, I think that should be a major focus for anyone still struggling or confused. And I wanted to bring in some dope fellas here to talk about how they have some strategies for you to make sure that happens. So before that, I'm Evan. I'm the owner here at Artist Collective, and this is the co-owner, Vinny Hines. We're going to kind of dual panelist up, and we'll just kind of open up the conversation here at the end. But I do want to introduce my special guests here. Hold this note up. Dope. All right. So Andre here is the Loom. Loom is a social music discovery app, and Andre is the head of artist relations, correct? Did I get that title right? Yeah? All right, cool. It is a streaming platform specifically designed to help the growth and connections for independent and emerging artists. He can talk more about that in just a minute, but thank you, Andre, for being here. I appreciate it. And I also, yeah, no problem, dude. And I also have Richie here. He is the founder, he's the creator of Blossom.im, which is an SMS application designed for artists, entrepreneurs, and influencers to connect directly with their fans. So very topical. Thanks for coming, Richie. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Of course. So cool. I just want to, and of course, you know, Vinny, just introduced him. Hello again, Vinny. Thank you. I just want to dive into these particular questions for both of you. I'll let you guys take turns to just kind of open the floor to talk more about the specific application that you guys are running and how it specifically can do what we're talking about now, which is to increase fan engagement. Let's start with Andre.
Yeah, thanks again for having me. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys can all hear me well right now. Apologize for the lighting a little bit. But yeah, so Loom is a music discovery and streaming application for emerging and independent artists to get their music out there, grow their fan base, connect with their fans without having to compete against mainstream music that dominates the other platforms and kind of drowns out 99% of the music out there. So we wanted to create a social media platform where they can thrive, get to know who their fans are, connect directly with other artists that are in very similar positions as them all around the country, and effectively grow their fan base while also receiving direct financial support. In January, we launched the virtual gifting feature that came into our platform, which made Loom the first platform in the U.S. to have social media, music streaming, and direct artist support all in one.
Hey, Andre.
Can you guys hear me?
I think that your headset might be low battery. It's very difficult to understand what you're saying. I don't know if you disconnected the Bluetooth, if that would be a better option.
Yeah, I just disconnected Bluetooth. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, much better.
All right. Do you want me to just start over?
I think you should. Yeah, it was pretty difficult to hear.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I was getting some muffling in my headphones as well. But yeah, to start back at the beginning, so Loom is a music discovery and streaming platform for emerging and independent artists to connect with their fans, get their music out there, connect with other artists all throughout the country that are in very similar situations as them, without having to compete against mainstream music that dominates other platforms, or compete against the algorithms that favor the artists that are signed to the top 3 record labels, right? We wanted to we wanted to bring the social elements of music back into the discovery piece of what really makes music inherently, connect with everybody in a way that nothing else in the world can bring people together. Doesn't matter what language you're speaking, music brings everyone together, and we wanted to bring the social elements back while also giving the 99% of artists that aren't really favored on other platforms an opportunity to grow and thrive without that competition. So we have, all the social elements that you could imagine on an Instagram, a Twitter, a SoundCloud, while also combining the streaming elements in a way that connects the artists and the fans and the artists to other artists throughout the country in a way that no other platform is doing right now. So we launched back in July of 2019, and then we implemented our digital tipping feature on January 13th, which made Loom the first platform in the United States to have a social media music streaming platform with direct to artist support. So if you like an artist, you can actually tip them within the platform, just like you would when you're walking down the street and you see a street performer that blows you away. You drop $1 in their hat, but that dollar kind of stops there. Versus on Loom, you can drop $1 into their wallet, and then it amplifies their reach to everybody else on the platform that has expressed interest in that type of music, but that hasn't necessarily come across that artist yet. Really just creating an opportunity for everybody to get off the ground floor and running without focusing on the financials or the relationships that are predetermined in regards to who's being shown on other platforms, but allowing them to build their own community within Loom.
Can you dissect a little bit how the gifting works, just to walk somebody who's not familiar with this through how that works compared to like regular streaming, traditional streaming?
Yeah, of course. So regular streaming, you have to stream their music X amount of times to give them, say, $1 worth of revenue. And, it varies from platform to platform. And, the royalty rates are, on Spotify right now, it's, 0.0037. And it always fluctuates, and it depends on what size of an artist you are, depending on those royalty payments that you're getting. So, effectively, you have to stream an artist about 200 times. And if you do the math, average song length is 3 minutes, or if you're really doing it by the button, streaming it 31 seconds and then streaming it again. Consistently, you have to stream their music for anywhere from 2 to 10 hours to give them $1 worth of revenue. On Loom, we have our notes, which is our in-app currency, and you can send gifts to artists in the platform directly to them, either on their song or on their profile. And it allows you to give them that same incremental income without necessarily having to spend that amount of time streaming their music to give them that revenue. So we give, for instance, every user that joins 200 notes just for joining the platform. And 200 notes is equivalent to $1. So just by joining the platform, a fan or an artist can claim 200 notes and then gift it to an artist that they like, or they can keep it for themselves. And that's $1 right there. And then you can see the gift button there on the top left corner of Devon Terrell's profile, or on the top, just to the right of that cover art there. If you tap that gift button, it then pulls up a sub menu where you can send, anywhere from a present, which is 50 notes, all the way up to a goat, which is 4,000 notes. And thinking about that as the same revenue as that many streams will be getting that artist. So if you give them 50 notes, you're essentially giving them 50 streams worth of financial support, but without having to spend the time to do so. And you can do it in a matter of seconds. And it goes right into that artist's wallet. There's no middlemen that are taking a cut from it. And then the artist can then cash that out, and it'll go right into their bank account.
Yeah, and from my experience on the app, you actually are, it's cool because you can get more gifted the more you gift to others. It's like bringing that value first. So if you're discovering new artists, you're an artist yourself and you're trying to discover new artists, it's a good idea to go and kind of gift some that you really like and make those those interactions that we're talking about, so other artists can become your fans.
Exactly. Focusing on that community aspect. Everybody has the same goals, so it makes sense to work with each other, give other people that same support that you hope to get as well. And if you give you're going to receive. And that's our whole philosophy, is working together to accomplish all of our goals as one, as opposed to it's me versus the world. But it's, if everybody can come together, those opportunities for success are 10 times greater.
What have you been seeing any interesting, like what's the shift that's happened on your app since this pandemic and this lockdown has started? Have you seen like an increase in usage? Have you seen an increase in gifting?
Yeah, I mean, I think I want to say that every company that is online has seen some sort of increase, right? Just because everybody is spending so much more time at home. And something that is actually kind of interesting is, the Spotify numbers, seeing those streams kind of go down a little bit because people aren't commuting now, which is a huge time when people stream music. But we've seen a lot more artists coming on, a lot more artists letting their fans know about the platform, because again, every user gets 200 notes for free. So if an artist gets 10 fans to join, to give them that welcome bonus, that's $10 right in their wallet. And then we also give them the opportunity to earn and accrue notes just by using the platform, just by gifting other artists. So then you can get more notes just by doing that and interacting with the platform to give support to the artists that are, struggling the most right now, because not only is live entertainment out of the picture, not only is it harder to get merchandise sales now because a lot of those sales come from live shows, but a lot of the artists that are on our platform also have day jobs. The service industry is, pretty much on a hold right now. There's so many people being laid off or fired that all of that income that goes to paying their bills or supporting their family is now put on pause. So using Loom as a tool to really make up for some of those losses right now is something that we've seen increase in the use of our artists and the fans.
Very cool. Cool. Richie, what do you have to share about Blossom?
Yeah, Andre, that's awesome, man. I actually recently downloaded the app, and I'm excited to kind of explore it a little bit more. So thanks for explaining that. Evan, thanks for having me. Yeah, so Blossom, was essentially a SMS application we really designed for the artist in mind, as opposed to kind of those, spammy short code texts you might get, like text the president, and you kind of get those like spammy texts. We wanted to make something that's a 10-digit number that's, you can really keep in touch with your fans from all around the country. So, some of the main features are, that you can actually see what fans are from what city. So let's say, you're touring, you're going live, you're a DJ, you want to go live, you want to reach your fans, you can text, say, all your people in New York at once, or all your people in a certain area. And it's a nice way to just directly connect. And, it's a little bit more special, I would say, than an email blast or, other forms of reaching out traditionally.
Yeah, I think the major pushback I get from artists with the text messages, because of course they probably are on some kind of list, like you said, for like elections and things like that. And I think there's just kind of this sour taste because they always say, oh, it's a bot. Technically, it's an automation sending a couple messages, but it does get sent to that particular person. So if you're an artist, it's going to be sent to you unless you have it set up to go to your manager or something. So I have an account on here. I've been using it for maybe only, how long has it been? Maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I love it. I've used a couple other ones just like this, and this one's definitely my favorite. But it goes to my phone and I'm responding to people. And so I think I just kind of want to take off the curtain and say, hey, it technically is an automation, but it's not like fake, it's not like a bot. And I think that's kind of the struggle that artists and some people have with this text message marketing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely changing. The future, is changing. But keep in mind, for texting, it's it's a very human-like thing. So it's important to be as genuine as possible. And we like to have kind of a message in mind to build that cohort of that army of like that most loyal fans, 100 most loyal VIP fans in every the biggest cities in the country, and not even just fans. Let's say you're a yoga instructor, wanting to text 50 students, or you're a singer wanting to go live and send that to exclusive fans on Patreon, but via text. So we're constantly changing and building more throughout this next year, but it's exciting to see, you know, artists use it, Billboard artists, DJs, people of all different, you know, levels of following, because really it comes down to those personal one-on-one relationships, those people that are actually buying your merch and text you and say, hey, you know, I just bought your shirt, you know, or I just donated, maybe I just donated to you on Loom, you know, and they wind up texting you. And let's say you're going live next time, you could reach out to that person again, and they feel a little bit more connected, as opposed to just, you know, maybe making a video on Facebook and it doesn't get seen by everybody, or having to pay for ads on Instagram to reach the people that are already following you. So yeah, you know, it's exciting now, and you know, I'm glad to see that you're getting success with it, and I'm glad to be here, and it brought us all here together. And you know, I think that's a big part of what we do as artists, is to try to just grow organically, make a living, trying to do what we do, but also try to genuinely connect with as many people as possible if we're inspiring them in some shape or form.
Yeah, and I think the piece that I took out from that is genuinely connect. Like you can get followers on Twitter and Instagram, but like that genuine connection has to be there. Otherwise, you know, when you need your fans for something, whether, you know, to donate to a cause or buy your merch or listen or just take action, it's going to be harder if you don't have that genuine connection. So I think apps like this, like what we're talking about, is just pushing ahead the importance of making sure that that is truly is genuine and you are giving value.
Yeah. You know, one thing I'd like to add real quick is that, you know, it's not necessarily just for fans too. You know, let's say you want to just put your homies in a group, or your producers in a group, your photographers in a group. It's almost just a better system to help your brain think for all the people, you know, so even if it's your homies, your dance group, you know, it's just a nice way to keep organized, and stay in touch.
For sure. Vinny, getting both of these apps and systems in mind, what is your experience with text marketing? And I know I think you poked around on Loom a little bit. Like, what's your take on both of these?
I think both of these apps are speaking to exactly what fan interaction is developing into. I'm getting more and more and more requests for people to be like, hey, you didn't text me that show was canceled, because I play a lot live, and these people will drive 45 minutes out to a show. And with weather dependent shows, with you know, this new pandemic culture, and cancellations can now come from all sorts of places. I wish that I had that more, because I'm going through my phone and actually doing it manually, and it sucks to do manually. So I've recently seen a really big importance in my performer career, let alone the public figure and the public branding figure of being, you know, AC Vinny and being the booking agent and co-owner. So I'm actually going to be getting that probably today, if not tomorrow. So I'm going to be investing in that and putting my number out there so that I can connect directly with people. I think in a bigger scheme of things, that direct to fan engagement, it is not a bot. You have to go in and program exactly how you want to emote your message, what type of verbiage you want to use. If you want to throw slang in there, if you want to just keep it light and casual and keep it a conversation, you can do whatever you want with this. It doesn't have to be, hey, go support me, here's my GoFundMe link. Like, you can use this to mold your engagement however you want. And it's directly, it's as intimate as gets. And I'm realizing now that that is so important. All of my fan engagement that seems to be really fulfilling and meaningful is coming in direct messages, it's coming in text messages, it's coming in emails that are just me and them talking. And it means more to me as a performer, and it actually is translating financially to be better as well. And then Loom, you and I were actually talking about. I was like, if only there was a way to diversify and almost not necessarily randomize, but break this algorithm culture to where we can support each other in a symbiotic way. And we were talking, we're like, the only way that you can really do that is if you take the currency away and incentivize it in a different way. And so I think Loom makes it fun. It makes it more interactive. It makes it less like you're pulling out your wallet and handing someone a $5 bill, and more like a fun engagement. So I really love that. We actually were talking about that about a month ago. So it's beautiful that you guys are way ahead of us on
Really smart.
that. Um, and I think that has that type of app and that type of Twitch type format, this subscription, direct subscription and direct transaction culture is going to be the only real way that people are going to build their full-time business, at least on the virtual side. Is going to require really open vulnerability and a really easy accessibility, because if we're all on lockdown for the next 2 to 3 months, which debatably it could be, no matter what, this virtual platform and these virtual connections, be it text message or be it an app or be it a connection to your website and this and that, it's going to be infinitely more important indefinitely, forever. So these apps have the opportunity to just explode and replace the algorithm based big money corporate type platforms like Facebook and YouTube and these things that are only money and algorithm driven. I think giving the power to the fans and the artists is beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, and going back to, I'm just thinking of ideas for you for just as a booking agent and as, you know, somebody who books themselves performing live. Like if you just had a group where it was like Florida venues, so you could just send out one text that's like, hey guys, my Friday's free. Can I book there? So you just send one message to all these agents and potentially get a booking from a text message. So something like that, I think just thinking outside the box with Blossom in particular, I think is cool for artists. So it's not just like you just have to be different with it. You can't just be another email list, another list to send to your fans saying that you have something that's released. And same with Loom as well, having that connection saying, hey, this is something really important to me. I know Loom does a lot. They'll do like challenges on there where they will they'll like post a video and the one that wins gets like 30 notes. So, or 300 notes even. I've seen some for like a couple thousand. So it's challenging the artists to kind of engage with their fans, and the winner, I'm not sure how they judge it, how you guys judge it, but the winner gets like basically like free money. So it's just kind of cool that they built that into their platform. So it's just about thinking outside the box with fan engagement, in my opinion. Can't be doing the same thing everybody else is.
I think one really interesting thing about Loom, about these streaming platforms, about even what we're doing right now is the fact that right now it's a necessity, and for a while it's going to be just how things are. But I think the key is getting it past that point where it's a chore. Like, I don't know about you guys, I got blue blockers because at a certain point staring at a screen becomes redundant and melancholy and my eyes are hurting. And you have to come up with some way to make this virtual interaction more fun. And I think that Loom could very well be that solution. And then we also need to figure out, how do I get away from these platforms that want to make me have to pay the pimp every time I just want to talk to my fans? And then that's where Blossom comes in. So it's, I think in conjunction, these two apps and these two platforms can work really, really well together to kind of solve two of the biggest problems we're dealing with right now, and that's monetization and directly communicating with our fans through all the clutter of what's going on right now.
Totally, I'm loving Loom already.
Yeah, I just downloaded Blossom as well, and I think I think that's going to be a platform that, you know, Richie, I think that's something that we should definitely connect on after this chat as well. But you know, especially in regards to the fan connection, you know, every time that a note or a gift is sent to artists on Loom, that artist, we send them a pop-up. We prompt them to say thank you to their fans, because their fans are ultimately the reason that they're going to be getting live shows. Their fans are the reason that they're going to be able to keep creating more music, and knowing who they are, as opposed to just counting the numbers on another streaming platform, because you don't know who your fans are. You only kind of know where they're at, but knowing exactly who that person is, building a relationship with them, they then become just a casual listener to a supporting fan to a super fan. And as soon as you get them to that super fan status, they're essentially your marketing team for you. And they're going to promote you just as you would promote yourself. And they're promoting you to their network that you don't have a reach to. And it's so much more trusted because it's coming from somebody that they already trust, right? And then, obviously in regards to the algorithms and how that is just manipulating everybody's exposure, we let the fans and the artists on Loom decide the direction of music going forward. So truly democratizing music, where an artist can get on, and if they get their fans to join with them, circulate their music, they're all of a sudden going to be seen by almost everyone on the platform if they're doing that greater than the other artists that are on the platform, just kind of using it as another tool to get new fans as opposed to bringing their fans with them and essentially taking over the platform in a sense. And then Evan, I just want to touch on those competitions a little bit. We always kind of just change up the competitions, how they're decided, the winners. We usually pick a panel of judges that are very active users on the platform, users that are artists that are, have gone to Berkeley, have worked in the industry for 20 plus years, and let them decide kind of, amongst a panel that is going to decide who's the winner. And we give up to 8,000 notes for that, just because we want to use it as a way to bring the people together, interact with all the other people that are creating music or remixes around one song that everybody knows, and then just getting everybody's different take on it. It's very interesting to see an EDM artist remix a hip hop track and then a hip hop artist remix that same track with just new verses on it. And it's always just interesting to see the direction of music that people decide to take it as opposed to algorithms, money, and relationships.
And how much does 8,000 notes equate to?
$40
Gotcha.
at cash out.
Right. Yeah, you're right. The comparison between that and your typical Spotify streaming there's no comparison. So yeah, I'm thinking of cool strategies just right now to specifically put in, tie in Loom and Blossom. So you're building a following on Loom. You're posting new music often, and somebody gifts you maybe a goat, which is like the highest one that you can gift, and it does come up and it says, yeah, so and so gifted this to you, say thank you. And it basically makes you either say thank you or exit out, so you have no way to not see it. Then you can message him and say, hey, thanks for giving me this, I'd love to have you to add you to my contact list on the Blossom. And then you have this synergy where now you're sending them back to Loom through Blossom and getting new contacts through Loom. So something like that is kind of what I'm talking about in terms of engagement, more than just one platform. If you can move them to other platforms and back and forth, that builds trust, that builds advocacy. So something like that I think would be really cool.
Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that. Because at the end of the day, we want to beat the algorithms and kind of get more direct with your people. And I think, you had a great point of, let's say somebody gifts a certain amount on Loom, and you could offer that to a particular, group of supporters. Say, look, you know what? I've been really appreciating your support over the past, couple weeks. I've been watching, here's my number. I'm going to give you exclusive updates, daily reminders, early releases, whatever the case may be. And it's almost similar to the Patreon or the Kickstarter concept as well, of tiers, or your diehard fans, your lifelong fans, the people that really come out and buy your merch before it drops, or buy your whatever the case may be, that support you. So I think that's a real nice way to offer something exclusive. Not that because everybody could follow you on Facebook, everyone can follow you on Instagram, but if you really want to feel that kind of special, direct engagement. And that's what I do. When I get a text, I message these people right back, because these people are what I do, and they're everything to me, So I want to know them. I want to know what they do. If I see they say, oh, I'm a photographer, if you're ever in New York, I'd love to shoot you, I'll put them as a photographer. And then next time I say, I got this big shoot, I got a little budget, let's put together. Oh, who do I know? I go to my groups. It's just a great way to see who I know and to get in touch.
And one thing that I really focus on with all of our consulting clients is to create databases for your contacts and for your venues. Like one of the first things we do is we have people set up Excel sheets, not only for PR but for the venues that they're interested in playing, the points of contact. Other notes that they need to know about that venue, about that relationship. And that could be a management agency, it could be a licensing company, it could be any type of outreach that you're trying to do, but recording what level of the conversation you're at and then being able to access them easily later. It sounds like you've got a way of categorizing these contacts to where you could easily say, hey, I'm ready to plan a tour. I've got all of the numbers of every talent buyer along this route that I know. Let me hit all of Missouri. Let me hit all of, et cetera. So there's a lot of different ways that you could use the direct text messaging service. I think it's great, and I'm looking forward to messing around with it, because we have messed around with automatic messaging before, and there is an art to actually getting past that. This dude just hit me with a bot. You know what I mean? There is a way to finesse it. There is a way to really inject some personality and be conscientious about how you utilize it. So,
I'm happy to help.
yeah, and I'm sure we'll be posting about what's working for us too, in the library.
I mean, at the end of the day, more success for you, and you know, you're able to connect, more success for everybody all around. So,
For sure. Does anybody want to tackle this question? I know we kind of touched on it, but like, what specifically talking about this lockdown and forcing people inside? What exactly has it shown us that, you know, is so important, that this fan engagement and fan interaction is so strong?
I'd say from a performer aspect, it has actually helped me pay my bills. I mean, I didn't know that I had as many invested super fans. I practice a lot of what we preach, but until we're in a situation where everybody knows, hey, this guy's just like cut off from the world. He's at his house. We need to help him out. I didn't even really put out a help signal, and people, even internationally, were sending support in various ways, whether it be requesting a cover for a certain amount or just sending me a PayPal increment saying, hey, I've loved watching your journey, you know, God bless. And I mean, some of the amounts have been overwhelming. So it reinforced the importance of that purely on a financial level, and also reinforced that what I've been doing actually has really meant something to people, and it makes it mean something more to me too because of that.
yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, that's a success story in itself. You know, I think we're all learning day by day and kind of adjusting and figuring things out. We're all still transforming, I think, and see what works best. But I mean, you know, it's so important to be able to connect to the people that have been following you. If it's on Instagram, if it's on, you know, Snap or whatever, you know, we want to be able to always be in touch with these people, especially in times like this. You know, where it's so easy to just turn off, and just go offline. You know, we have to kind of put a step forward in reaching out to the people that, you know, because, you know, everyone's a lonely person if you really think about it, especially now. We're all cooped up, and, you know, reaching out to your people and staying connected and feeling that you're there. You know, if it's you're going live together, if you're, you know, singing a song, if you're sending a release, you know, you want to feel that connection. And I mean, that's what we're meant to do as humans. It's just, you know, that's what makes us live. You know, it's you know, it's people. And you know, it's a crazy thing we're going through, you know, as a whole in the world right now. And interaction is everything, you know, digitally, you know, interaction right now until things get better. So, you know, whatever we could figure out that works the best, utilize it, and make it work.
Yeah, I just love how both of your guys' companies, and I'd like to think ours as well, is really focused on, you know, building that relationship with the fan. Because I look at it this way. I mean, if you watch the Grammys and you see anybody winning an award, I mean, every single person thinks they're fans. They're not just saying that. They're thanking them because they understand that they could not have gotten where they're at without them. And I feel like a lot of independent artists kind of lose sight of that. they kind of just want to go for the gold and they want to go for the fame and to be able to do what they love full time, but they just a lot of times lose their way and, you know, don't understand, stop understanding that the fans and that connection more than just a follow on your social media is so important to make it whatever make it looks like to you. Like you need those fans first and foremost. You just have to have them. So I just think it's really great that you both really prioritize that in terms of, you know, the user interface and in both of your guys' applications, prioritizing the fans and kind of strengthening that relationship. So I appreciate that.
You know, I like to add, just with Loom and with Blossom, you know, it's you get 10,000, you get 100,000, you get 1,000,000 followers by starting off with that core 100, that core 500. And if you can, you know, keep in touch with these people and, you know, really feel like you're building something, you know, that's how things become exponential. You get 10 people to repost your post or follow you on, or gift you, and then they post it on Loom and to 10 of their friends. And overnight, you know, that's how things, you know, work. And it's awesome. So.
Yeah, I will. I'll actually share how I use Blossom. I use it. It'll be a little different than how an artist might use it for their fans, but just to give you an idea of like how I'm using it outside of the box a little bit. I started this thing called Virtual Manager. So I'm an artist manager. I'm an artist consultant. But I know that there's artists out there that aren't ready to kind of hire on what we do, but they still have plenty of questions. So I want to kind of be that source. I want to give them that value. So essentially my list, which I can share the number with you all. I hope that you guys all text me and join that. My list, again, does go straight to my phone. If you get added to it, you can ask me questions. If you were like in a weird contract or if you were on the fence of something, you just shoot me a text and I'm responding on like mini consults all day long. So I do that because I want to bring value first instead of asking for a stream or like to go buy my product or service. Because I know that when I do have something like this, I sent my list once like, hey, you guys should all join this chat I'm doing for 7 days. When I finally did make that ask, it was so much easier for them to be like, oh, hell yeah, this guy gives me so much value because I ask him little questions here and there that they find valuable. So if you can do something like that with your audience, you're going to find much more luck. With even your email list. Let's even not even on Blossom, like even your email list, do more than just asking for a stream. That's the email list that I unsubscribe. So if you can provide that value first, I think that is so crucial.
It's just from experiencing, you know, getting your emails just these past month or so, I personally, I'm like, you know, it's something keeps me like up to date. And I actually feel really connected when reading it, going through it. I feel like there's a lot of value given, which is a really nice feeling, you know, from someone on the other end.
For sure.
So
Appreciate
thank
that.
you. Yeah.
All right, cool. What kind of, we'll just have some fun with this one. What kind of predictions do we see this doing to the industry as a whole? Like maybe your industry in particular, like is it going to be a rise in people signing up for these things? Is, you know, even outside of what we're talking about now with live events? I kind of asked this question with all the panelists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that, you know, it's going to really just show everybody within doesn't matter what industry you're in. I mean, you've seen Zoom downloads are skyrocketed because that is how all corporations, it seems like, are now communicating with each other. And it's going to show them the importance of what the internet can truly do, not only for our personal gain or going on to social media and just wasting away some time because we have some time to waste, but it's going to show people that the power of truly connecting with one another, building those relationships. Yes, interaction in person is huge, but a lot of it does start online. And I think it's going to show a lot of people that, you know, spending the time giving a fan or giving, you know, anybody in your network just 5 minutes of your time, giving them some sort of value before you ask for a stream, for instance, like you were just saying, Evan. You know, I can ask for streams all day, but what am I giving my fans other than, you know, the experience around listening to my music? You know, on Loom, it's focusing on the visual content, focusing on that fan interaction, just like we're talking about with Richie. And Blossom is you can personalize your messages to your fans. You know, that's where everything is coming to now, is that personal connection that you feel with somebody else, which is going to make you want to advocate for them, want to stick your neck out on the line because they gave you an experience, they made you feel important. And I think that's you know, everything that's going on right now, everybody's all cooped up, hopefully, you know, taking care of their health, both mentally, physically, staying safe. It's really just going to show everybody the importance of how we can all connect to move forward together, because this is something that I think has brought the entire world together in a way that we haven't been brought together in quite some time. And just taking advantage of that and understanding the value of, you know, having these introductions, having these conversations with each other is only gonna, it's the start to what is gonna blossom, pun intended, for, you know, everything that's going to be coming after this in the next 3 months. Because at the end of the day, I mean, we have festivals that are entirely canceled. I mean, mainstream artists are struggling, emerging artists are struggling, everybody. I mean, unemployment rates are skyrocketing. How can we help each other through these times? It's just being there for one another. You know, that's kind of my take on it at the end of the day. I don't know what you're thinking, Richie. I think you're muted.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I mean, you definitely make some great points. I think, you know, who knows really how long this will last, but, you know, it definitely feels like we're getting hit, you know, with the early stages. But, you know, let's say we're like this for the next couple of months. You know, everyone's going to be online. Everyone's going to be trying to do things to be more social. If it's, tuning into a fitness class that's live, if it's, you know, going on Loom, and if it's, you know, tuning into more DJ live concerts and doing these, other things to feel connected. I think in particular with, you know, Blossom or Loom, I think it's just going to be more digitally connecting. There's going to be more people texting about, I'm getting personally from our user base, I get text every morning about a yoga class, and I actually tuned into it this morning, and yesterday I did the full hour, and it was awesome. I woke up a little foggy. I was like, I don't even know what day it is. We're all feeling, and I got this text and I felt connected, and I put my yoga, I lit this candle, and namaste. I felt great. And, you know, I don't think I've done a live yoga class in years. I don't know, if you guys been drastically, you know, logging on to more live streaming now than you've ever done. But, you know, I think we're going to just see more ways to connect, and, you know, a lot of people are going on Twitch now, and, you know, I think in particular for any digital apps, there's obviously a lot more people online, but you know, we're going through it, so we'll see what kicks and what stays, but we're in this change, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mainly see the shift as leading up to now, you know, the rise of Facebook and all these other social media platforms. We were really heavily focused on quantity. We want more followers. We want more attention. We're struggling, and our goal was to connect with as many people as possible. Maybe not in a deep way, but just like, hey, cool, you're following me here, so you got me updated. I think now this is showing that it's very important to kind of shift from that quantity to that quality of fan and interaction, whatever it might be, whether it's with your business customers or your fans of your music. So I really think that that's what this is showing. Like, oh, cool, yeah, you know, I might have 100,000 on Instagram, but, you know, now I really need to get to know these people and show them that, you know, this is really what I am. So that authentic, genuine piece that you mentioned earlier, I think is kind of where I see the shift happening, which is, I love it, because I'm kind of, I'm going with it as well, you know, having these apps like this. So I think it's great.
Awesome.
I think, can I answer now? I'm really proud of what we've taught over the last, you know, few years, as far as the importance of personal branding, because right now it's proving to be truer than ever. Because in order to deepen these relationships, especially whenever we're distanced from each other like this, you have to oftentimes either release more content, create more, but overall what you're doing is you're showing more of yourself. You're exposing and being more honest, and you're giving more and more to the people on the other side of the screen. And I think a lot of people that were really good at doing that in person are going to have to immediately pivot to figure out how to be charming online and how to be engaging online. And I think that businesses overall, just in any industry, if they don't immediately make the digital pivot, they won't be here when all is said and done. If you can't start to see the uber importance in text message marketing, if you can't see the importance in making that digital experience fun like Loom does, then you're not seeing the trend that we're heading towards. Because this whole futurist idea of us all living as individuals and being one stream to another, we're living it right now, and there's a chance that this might be it from now on, or that these episodes of new viruses come out, or even just completely false scares in the future come out, and people stay home and they rely on this type of engagement. I don't foresee this type of engagement doing anything but skyrocketing indefinitely. Whether there's a pandemic, whether we're under a state of emergency or not, this is going to be the catalyst that gets people interested in these various platforms, and you're going to see the rise and fall. Things like Triller that were just doing okay last month are going crazy this month. Various streaming platforms, TikTok is bigger than ever. And I really, truly hope that Loom is the next one to just skyrocket because of the integrity there behind the fan engagement and breaking the algorithms. So I think we all need to look at ourselves as more like a TV channel and less of an artist. We need to think of ourselves as a content stream, and how do we keep our charm and engagement up digitally.
Right. Vinny, I think you hit it on the head there with those that are really good at interacting in person are now forced to figure out the best way to do that online. And I'm sure everybody else has seen it, but every time you go onto your Instagram feed now, there's at least 10 to 20 people that are all live at that time. And the quality versus quantity is giving those fans something to kind of hold on to, something to look forward to, because you have people going live at specific times and answering questions in the live stream of everybody that's tuning in. Those are their true fans, because you may have thousands and thousands of followers, but how many of them are actually tuning into what you're doing? How many of them, are in the artist collective email for this, but aren't able to tune in? And that's why it's recorded, so they can come back to it at a later time. But it's about giving before you're asking for something, because everybody wants, everybody wants, but if you can give something, everybody's so much more inclined to give you whatever you're going to ask for at that point, and just making yourself feel approachable and something that your fans and whatever business you're doing, they can connect with you. And I think that, what you said there is perfect.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think, Vinny, would you consider yourself one of those people that you described?
Yes, I was imagining myself 100%. Man, I can get a stranger to buy me a drink in 30 seconds, but sitting in front of a camera in an empty room gives me freaking panic attacks, man. So I am having to completely rewire how I think about fan engagement. And I think one of the reasons I never really focused on these digital platforms, never even considered like having a Twitch or something like that, was that I felt like, I don't know, I felt like it was almost haughty. Like, who's going to want to watch me exist? You know what I mean? But now I'm realizing that there actually are people that are willing to pay me to watch me exist. And it's a weird thing, but it's working. I'm making the adjustment and trying to have fun with it. But and thank God for different platforms that are being clever on my behalf. I don't have to sit in a room and go and bring the whiteboard out and go, how do I make people giggle through the internet? How do I get people to give me a wallet? I don't. Making it easier, making it quicker, making it more fun. Those platforms and those places that are doing that well, those are going to be the ones that find success in this new pandemic culture.
Yeah, and with I mean, just on Twitch for a second. I mean, isn't it just funny that, I'm just imagining these introverts that are just playing video games and watching each other play video games. This is happening. They're just like, yo, we've been doing this for like years. This isn't new for us. So it's interesting to see, um, those people thrive in this right now. They're like, oh yeah, cool. Come to my Twitch. Like all I'm doing is sitting at home doing this. So it's just kind of cool to see. I think this has just opened the door to the acceptance of that. Hey, this is a reality. People have been live streaming. But now it's like, now everybody's doing it. It's becoming more saturated. So how can you stand out? How can you provide value like we've been talking about? Yeah, somebody might come in there and pay you to, play the guitar a little bit, but how do you add that engagement? Cool. Pay me $1 and then do a song request. Oh, don't pay me $1 and just text me and add your number to my Blossom account. And then I'll, text me what your question is or whatnot. I see Gary Vee doing that a lot too. He has a text messaging service for his VIPs. And when he's been going live during this time and he's saying, hey, you have to text me in. So he's forcing people into that funnel, into that text messaging funnel in order to talk with him. And, for him, it may not be exactly his person managing all of those accounts, but still you can kind of see how it can spiral from there. So I think the live streaming is definitely interesting right now, but I've just seen a lot of them, like a lot doing, just heads talking about what they're doing in the quarantine. So it's like, how do you stand out? How do you make sure that everybody is being seen? I think that's the other thing too.
Yeah, I think that's you make some awesome points. It's also, I think, plays a part is what's familiar with some of these people. So your followers might be 20, they might be 40 years old, they might be, who knows, and some people are so accustomed to maybe YouTube or just Kickstarter. But I think if they're in that giving state of mind, gifting, donating, we just kind of got to groom these fans or whoever our audience is into actually downloading that app or following you on this platform, if it's Twitch or if it's whatever. Because it's, what do they say, the rule of 6? People got to see it, they got to be familiar with it before actually really engaging and tuning in. And then after a month or two, I'm scrolling on Loom. Let me put in $10. Let me put in $20, and it's a transition. People are always going through different things, but you're absolutely right on some of these points.
Yeah, I mean, It just comes down to you have to walk them through that process and that funnel. Don't expect them to get there on their own. Walking them through, I think, is important.
You have to be ask is and how your fans can help you, because if you don't tell them how they can best help you, they think that streaming your music is the best way that they can help you, but most people don't understand that 90% of all the payments are going to the top 1% of musicians who are the mainstream artists that you're hearing on the radio. They're already doing well, but most people don't realize that your $10 is, even if I'm listening to Joe Schmo all month and that's all I'm listening to, he's not getting my $10 subscription fee. It's actually going to the Drakes, the Beyoncés of the world. And kind of coming back to your Gary Vee point in regards to him telling everybody they have to text that number to be invited into it. That's also him segmenting out the casual listener, the casual viewer, to the people that genuinely care about what he's telling them. And then he can double down on those people. And those are going to be the ones that are telling everybody else about his message, because those casual ones, I mean, they're just there for the random snippet that he puts out on Instagram. Everybody else, those are the people that he can double down on, give them this extra value to. And then they're going to go tell the casual listener what they gave him, or what he gave them, and now he's going to continue to increase that more specific group that is actually interested, which is something that I think is super cool.
Definitely.
Were you going to say something, Vinny?
Yeah, one thing to make clear is that journey of getting not only the rule of 6, but the idea of converting someone into a deeper fan. That's not just, sometimes it's going to happen like that. But a lot of times it's going to be a journey where you just convinced them to get to YouTube, and then it's 3 weeks of familiarity before you get them to get over to Instagram. It's very rare that they're going to go through and hit 6 different subscriptions, hit your newsletter, all at the same time. So making sure that you have longevity in mind with how you're engaging with people and making it easier on yourself as well. I think that that's key. And that's what I look forward to as well. Because one thing, once you're a decade deep into having this type of engagement over and over and over again, you're looking at ways to do it smarter, not harder. And I see both of these as a potential solution for that.
For sure. Cool.
Right. Understanding that the Billie Eilish is 1 in a billion, that's
Right.
not everybody's engagement after a couple of days. Takes a while to do that.
Right.
I mean, even when you look at, let's look at Taylor Swift, for instance. She started with what we're talking about right here. There wasn't, anything like Blossom or Loom available then, but she built her following on MySpace. She was directly messaging people on MySpace saying, hey, it's cool, sending them cover videos, going to their house, things like that. I mean, before she was a megastar. So when everybody sees them when they're stars and they think, oh, cool, they just, fans just happened. They just generated themselves. But even these bigger artists did start from the bottom. They started actually reaching out to fans, FaceTiming them, they're freaking out, things like that. So finding a way to have that deep interaction now, that VIP group, to really weed out the people who aren't super fans, is really crucial. And moving them from one social media platform to another is definitely key. In my mind, like you said, you have to, those 6 points that could mean, an ad they see, and then you're asking them to do this, and then you invite them to your text messaging service. And then all along the way, you're providing value to them. That's might be more than just the music you create, which is what we talk about a lot here in Artist Collective, is about, you're more than just a musician and an artist. You have other passions. How can you use that to connect with those fans? Oh, cool. You paint too. I paint on the side as well. Like, using those, you're a brand. So find ways to connect with fans. That's more than just, hey, do you like my music? Oh, cool. Thanks. Like, things like that. Cool. I'm ready to open up for a Q&A. I'd love to have some fun with this. Bring some people in. We can chat. If you have specific questions about their applications, we can chat about that now. But I just want to also be clear that I'm going to be doing a one-on-one full training walkthrough with both Andre and Richie for both of theirs in the coming weeks, I believe. So if you want to get like a really deep dive, we're probably going to cover it then, and I look forward to having you a part of that as well. But if you have any specific questions, please either throw it in the Q&A, throw it in the chat box, or raise your hand and I'll bring you in.
I've got a question. Okay, go ahead.
My bad, Vinny.
You guys are both raising your hands. What's up?
We both did. And Vinny, after you.
This is for Loom. Have you found that any particular genres have taken a shine to your app? I know that EDM kind of has some of their subgenre apps that they really gravitate to. I know that Triller is traditionally hip hop. Have you seen your app leaning towards any certain genres? You're muted, brother.
My man, you're muted. Oh, there we go.
I think he's frozen too now.
Uh-oh. All right. Well, Richie, why don't you go ahead and fill that?
That was a great question. I really want to know that. Yeah, I just want to just put it out there. So Blossom, we are private beta. We are keeping the app exclusive to certain artists, labels, individuals.
There we go.
Yeah. I was just quickly saying, if anyone is interested in signing up with Blossom, you guys could connect with Evan. I'm happy to extend a free month, trial to everybody interested in seeing the app, exploring with it. But Andre, you did mention you downloaded it. After we can connect, happy to make you a little promo code so you can get in, pick a number, have access to the app. But yeah, if you just go to the App Store and download it, you have to have an actual account to get access to it. So
yeah, I figured that out.
Yeah, no, all good. Just want to put that out. And get back to Vinny. Yeah.
Yeah, to answer your question, Vinny, sorry, I was having issues unmuting that. It was a little bit delayed, but yeah, I think that you see that hip hop is one of the more popular genres just in the entire music industry. It is definitely one of the more popular genres on our platform as well.
Hmm.
Frozen again.
Opinion, because
Yeah.
you have to be able to truly sing, play instruments and all of that. And hip hop, just has a lower barrier to entry in regards to that genre specifically. So we've definitely seen a spike in hip hop on our platform, but that doesn't mean that we're not focusing on these other genres as well. And we're actually going to be pushing out some campaigns in the next couple of weeks here, specifically for EDM artists, specifically for, singer-songwriters, indie music, the acoustic rock genres as well, because we want every genre to have its own space within Loom. And right now, there's definitely a lot more hip hop and other genres, but there's also a ton of great other music on the platform.
Okay, thanks.
So hip hop, you say is the biggest one right now on the app?
Yes, yeah. There's definitely more hip hop than other genres. I would say that there's, 65% of the artists that are joining. We give every artist the opportunity to select two genres that best represent their music and their style. 60 to 65% of the artists are selecting hip hop as one of those two genres.
Cool.
I'm going to bring a guest in, ask their question. Hey, how's it going?
How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. How are you? Thanks for joining in.
I'm okay. Yourself? It's a great little conversation y'all guys got going on.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks for being a part of it. What question do you got?
I was just thinking about, like a new campaign, like when you say with the FaceTime, like that's kind of creative. That's kind of great idea because I never thought about it until I just heard from you guys, and I see a lot of people doing that on Instagram and whatnot. So I think that's a good strategy. So that's like a question in a way.
Which FaceTime thing are you talking about? Like the live streaming on Instagram? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it's like screaming, stuff like that, because I see a lot going on with that now. It's like it's really like making a lot of impact of a person crafting stuff, whatnot. So
Yeah, I've had pretty good success with it. Honestly, these industry chats that are on this membership started about a year and a half ago when I started doing what was called going live with AC Evan, where I would bring in artists and I would bring in managers, and we would just have a conversation like what we're having right now, a little less formal, like it didn't have this presentation, but we would just chat about their lives and they would share strategies, and that's kind of how it started. I found success in it because there was everybody else that was doing live streaming, not many other people were, but it was like mainly artists like performing, or like, you'd have the random ones where girls are just like doing their makeup and stuff,
yeah,
or
right.
just like it's in the room. So being able to provide that value. So I would highly recommend getting started on that. Maybe it would be like, what kind of music do you create?
Rap, hip hop, different styles with it.
Cool. So like I would say maybe, going live by yourself is cool, but the reason that live is cool with other people is because when you go live with them, all of their followers get notified that they're going live with you, even the ones that don't follow you or know who you are. So you're being exposed to their audience, and they're being exposed to your audience as well. So you can kind of grow your following from there. So I think like something cool where you just maybe talk to the producers that you work with, like maybe like have like a business meeting on Instagram Live where you just kind of talk about, things that aren't really shown on social media much.
Maybe
Just
All right, that's true.
drop your music on Loom too.
On Moon.
On Loom.
Okay, I never heard of that one. So moon.com.
Loom. That's the app that we're going to be posting the link to in the emails we'll send you. We'll make sure you get a link to it.
LUM.
Cool.
Loom.fm.
That's what's up.
Cool, man. Well, I think I appreciate you jumping in here. I'm going to see who else is willing to ask a question.
Thanks, man.
Take it easy.
All right, thanks, man.
All right. Sean here says, this is for Richie, it looks like. What about international texting? Is this only working for US fans and this market?
Yeah, so in our private beta, we're really focused mainly on US. We're working on possibly doing something with international plans in the near future, but right now with our private beta, we're mainly focused on the US.
Cool. Simple enough. Who else we got? I see some familiar faces in here. I'd love to hear from you guys. Steven, anything to add to Misha? But yeah, overall, I just think just finding new, going off of what Day Day was talking about, finding new ways to connect with your fans. That's more than just talking about your music, things like that. And I think both of these apps are two amazing ways to kind of get started doing that. And just experiment. And it comes down to getting your music on all platforms. I'm always one, artists ask me all the time, which, should I put it on all platforms or just SoundCloud? It's like, honestly, I think you need to put them on all of them, Loom included. Yeah, when someone streams on Loom, you're technically not getting a fraction of a cent unless someone gifts them, but they could be exposed to your music, and then they might primarily listen to it on Spotify and then go back and like add it to a playlist. So it's all kind of connected. So
and we've actually seen a lot of that happening where artists will get their fans to join, or just fans will find artists on the platform, send them a gift, and then go add their music to their Spotify playlist, go follow them on Instagram. I'm sure there's hundreds of examples, if not thousands, of artists that have joined Loom, connected with people on the platform, gotten the financial support within Loom, but also gotten the streaming support on other platforms, and they've seen their monthly active listeners increase. They've seen their Instagram following increase. But I think it's also important to know, as an artist, that your followers are not your fans. You can't expect that your followers are your fans. Your fans are a very small subset of your followers at the end of the day, because people on Instagram do the follow for follow. They do the
right.
Oh, I met you one time, so I'm gonna give you a follow. All that as well. And then for day to day, in regards to going live, it's really about letting your fans know who you are. Who is the person that's behind the music? What is your story? How can they connect with your story and feel a part of your journey, which makes them connected that much more to your music? Creating an experience beyond your music and making yourself, humanized. Because a lot of people look at artists and they look at them as these public figures more so than just a normal person that is putting their heart and soul into their music and sharing, more often than not, their life story. And it's always a reflection of what they've gone through at some point in their life. So is it something that you can connect with, and just making sure that you're presenting yourself in a way that other people are going to perceive it and feel connected to.
Yeah, and I look at it this way too, specifically talking about Loom. Like when you look at every social media platform that we've all loved, for the most part, we've loved it the most when it first came out, when it was kind of in that beta stage or just like getting started, where it wasn't all about, it wasn't a public company yet, and there wasn't all about getting ad revenue. Instagram, Facebook, we all loved it back then. That's where Loom is right now. So
I remember Instagram.
Remember
Instagram? Remember how free it was?
Remember when it was just photos? Yeah,
Ah.
you couldn't even post a video. It was just a photo.
You have to pay to reach your followers now.
Oh,
right?
Man.
Well,
So I look at it this way. I'm always that, and that's what Ars Collective hopefully is here to help you guys with, even outside of this one chat. We want to bring you new businesses and new strategies that are kind of in that baby phase. if that doesn't offend you or anything, is in that phase where they are really about their super fans. They're just getting started. They're taking care of their artists. So you need to, get big on a lot of these platforms. TikTok included. I mean, it's getting there now, but think of when when somebody buys that out and it's all about ad revenue, you're not going to be able to get big on there as easily as you can grow on there. I don't like to say get big, to grow on that platform.
And one thing about TikTok too is that it's not even a U.S. owned company. So if you're going to invest your time and try and build equity in metrics and followers, especially with the way that relationships and capitalism is starting to flow a little differently, try and focus on the guys making the apps in your backyard rather than the ones that are running it from the other side of the planet. So support, yeah.
Yeah, I like to say, just something that popped up is like, with putting out your music and your content, all these platforms, I think it's important to realize, as an artist, you always constantly work on your art, but you there's a lot of vanity metrics. There's a lot of fake, maybe as you said, like TikTok, maybe you'll get 10,000, but does it really convert? Maybe in this and this and that. But one thing that I like to think of, and that we can't forget is, is you really don't know how far a relationship can take you. Let's say it's someone on Loom that you just meet you the first day, and then they wind up being your biggest supporter, like financially. And then they, as I said, they buy your merch and they book you for a $10,000, performance at their house. Or if, let's say they text you on Blossom and they find, I just found you on Instagram. Thanks for giving me your number. And that maybe they wind up donating $1,000 a month on Kickstarter, and wind up supporting my album. You really never know, or they might be your best friends, or who knows where a connection will go. So that's just one thing, you can't forget. I think as an artist, when you're putting out content, because it's easy to get down if it doesn't perform as well, or it's easy to get hyped if it overperforms, and you're like, yeah, I'm killing it. So you got to put your content out and yeah, so.
Yeah, Richie, I think that's a great point. You never know who knows somebody. You never know where your network is going to take you. And this is something that I preach to, a lot of people, is your network is your net worth. If you burn bridges or you don't have a good relationship with someone for whatever reason, that is lost opportunities. It's about having as many great relationships as you can with as many different people as you possibly can, because you don't know who knows somebody that could give you an introduction because they like you, because they gave you the time of day.
Love it.
Yeah. I always tell my clients that instead of worrying about the likes and the follows and the attention you're not getting, hyper focus on those even few that you are getting. So go deep instead of wide. Like something that I've activated in my, I guess, branding campaigns is whenever I get a new follow, I'm sending people a video message. I'm sending them a video message to show them that I'm a human being and not some robot, in Russia, just sending them a message or something.
That's smart.
It's just saying, hey, it's Evan. I take the time and check out their page. Oh, they're a musician. Oh, they're in hip hop. I'm going to peek. It takes no time at all to sample a piece of music and see what they're doing. I send them a message and say, hey, what's up? It's Evan. Thanks for the follow. I'm checking out your content. You text me here. You can follow me here as well. Let me know how I can provide any value. So if you can do things like that, and just even in the comments, hey, cool, I saw that you put a fire emoji. That's great. Like, start a conversation, as silly as it might sound. Like, don't overlook.
Never know where it's going to take you.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, with the contacts in mind, you never really know. A lot of your business contacts that could sign you or manage you, like a lot of them will start as being a fan. They have to, enjoy you as a brand first. So like, I completely support what you guys are saying. You never know where your contacts are going to take you. So you need to assume that everyone is gold at this point. You know what I mean? Until they, innocent until proven guilty, I guess. Cool. Any other questions in the chat? Any other tidbits from you, Vinny?
I would just say at this point, we're going to be launching into, this is wrapping up our entertainment lockdown series. And for all the people that are at this point and have watched all of the days with us, thank you first and foremost. And I'm proud of you. I'm really proud that you've taken the time to learn through this and join us on this journey. I would say, from a completely pragmatic approach of how to move forward in this unknown industry, is invest in your fans. Figure out how to be charming online and how to connect with people, and slowly make that connection more intimate in more places. Take care of what you can take care of, but realize that we have no idea what the future holds, not only as a country, but as a planet and a music industry. So gravitate to those in your community, take care of each other, and do what you can to prepare, and be okay with the fact that there's a lot of stuff you just can't do right now. We're promoting the idea of being as productive as possible, and absolutely find fulfillment in continuing to build your music career, and just be patient. That's all I would say. Be hopeful and be patient.
Thank you for that.
So uplifting. I love it. A couple new questions popped in. Noah's asking if Loom is available on Google Play.
Loom is currently only available on iOS, and it's only available in the US. We are currently developing our web platform. So then everybody with access to the internet will be able to use it, ideally in the next 4 months or so. With everything that's going on right now, our timeline took a little bit of a hit, as I'm sure everybody's timeline took a hit with development, getting new products out, getting new releases, updates, all of that good stuff. But yeah, Android, Google Play, they're in the works, but web is definitely going to be the first thing that comes out, hopefully in the next 4 months or so. And that's just kind of a rough estimate right now.
Gotcha. So basically, go get an iPhone. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Noah.
Yeah, we're super pro Apple over here at Artist Collective. Let me ask you this. Is there a way for us to make like an artist collective group within Loom or a network within Loom? Are there ways to make internal groups or internal affiliations kind of in a...
Yeah, you can just like on, Instagram, you can create group chats within DMs. So you can put everybody that's in your collective into one DM chat, and then, name that chat the Artist Collective. And then every time, I have multiple chats with many people where if I see something on the feed that I like, I repost it, but I also drop it into those chats because I know that not everybody is always on the app all the time like I am. Everybody has their lives to live, and typically a lot of people go to those chats to see what their friends are talking about. I mean, we do have the social side of things, so you can follow people just like you can on Instagram. You have your following feed, and then you have a global feed of everything else that's going on of people that you're not necessarily following. Your explore page, which we're actually going to be pushing an update in the next couple of days here. And then, but yeah, other than that, we have hashtag pages, so you can search up hashtags. I think that an Artist Collective hashtag would be something that could easily get popping off on the platform, and then just kind of creating those DM chats to have more personalized conversations in a private space within the platform.
Cool.
Perfect.
I'll definitely chat more with you about that. Very cool. Carmen says she just created a Loom account. Congrats, Carmen. What are some tips that you recommend to get your page running and really get started connecting with artists? She says she sees that you have to upload music from the desktop, but are there any other tips?
Yeah, I would recommend that, don't do just following everybody, because, that's not genuine connection. We were talking about that earlier in this chat, that genuine interaction with your fans, genuine interaction with potential fans is only going to get people interested in what you're doing, as opposed to just giving them a like or dropping a comment with your track on somebody else's post. I highly recommend not doing that. But what I recommend doing is just searching for, music, searching through the social feed, interacting with people just like you would on any other platform, giving genuine comments. If you really like something, share it, say why you like it. Every time you share a track on the platform, that artist gets a notification that you shared their music. Every time you add it to your library, they get a notification that you added it to their library. And we always prompt that artist to say thank you. So it's gonna prompt people to start interacting with you. But to get seen initially, make some posts of tracks that you like. Make a video of yourself just talking about who you are, what you like to do, and maybe talk about some of the songs that you've already found that you really like on the platform. It's really just about being genuine, having this personal connection, and making yourself feel approachable to everybody else before you just upload music and then post it everywhere. If you're going to post your music, give context to it, because while it may just be a 3-minute song, people maybe want to read 2 sentences about what that song's about. Who are you as an artist? What made you want to write that song? Really just giving people that inside scoop as to what you're doing, who you are, what you're creating, and then creating those connections with everybody else. Because like we were saying, you never know who knows somebody. You never know who could help share your music. Just connect with as many people as you can and make sure that you're being genuine, because people can read right through the BS if you're not being genuine and you're trying to promote yourself kind of subtly. Just interact with their content, and it's going to make them want to go to your page and find out what you're all about.
That's great. I have a couple tips too, because I've been using it for, what's it been, several months now, for the artists that I manage. And what I've seen to really work, I agree with you, that follow for follow thing that may work on other platforms has not really worked, because you're testing different strategies on different platforms, seeing what works and what doesn't. But that 200 gifted note that you will get for signing up, which, Carmen, I'm sure you already got it. Don't be stingy with it. Go give that away to some artists that you really like, and use that as to open a door to have this connection. Hey, I really think we could have a cool song together, things like that. So I would say go and use that 200 and give it away to some artists that you think are cool and you want to begin that connection. And also just look on the feeds, because a lot of times I've seen people that are just like, hey, I'm making a new playlist, I want some more music. And they're asking for solicited material to add to their playlist. So because it's newer right now and people are down to support, they're actually asking for you to send them your song for a playlist, which, let me tell you, that doesn't really happen on Spotify. You pretty much have to pay hundreds and thousands of dollars to get added. It doesn't happen. So I think that's really cool. Those are two success stories that I have on Loom.
Yeah, also definitely go check out, we have specific hashtags that we push, one of which we are running a meet and greet. So a virtual meet and greet. Just, look up the hashtag in the search bar, meet and greet, and go through those, because other people are introducing themselves to the platform. You can get to kind of know who they are, connect with them. Those are the people that are the easiest people to approach and connect with, because they already took a few minutes out of their day to interact and put their name out there in hopes that somebody's going to reach out to them. We also have another hashtag that we like to push, which is looking to collab. For any artist that is looking to collaborate with another person and just connect and build their networks, dive through that, because there's people that are looking to connect, and it's not like Instagram where your followers or the people you're trying to connect with aren't interested in music. Everybody on Loom is there for one reason. It's because of music. It's new music, and it's stuff that hasn't been force fed to them on other platforms. And everybody has their own choice, their own avenues to go down. So definitely just kind of check out some of those hashtag pages too.
Yeah, I think that is one thing that really does make it unique. When you look at Instagram and social media platforms and even TikTok, like there's kind of this hodgepodge of reasons that people are there: for comedy, for videos, for a photo, for a Facebook group, for your book club or whatever. But Loom is there to discover new music. And I think that's really cool that it's super niche. And it's like, you know what you're going to get. It's literally called Loom Music. So I think that is actually a cool point that I never thought of before, that it's hyper-focused. And I think that's great. People there are there to support.
Uh-huh.
Well, cool, guys. This has been a great chat. I'm just going to wrap up here just with our today and just the entire series. If you want the replays of everything, I would invite you all to join our membership. Join Artist Collective. We do these weekly. Most of the time it's one-on-one trainings, like what I'm going to do with both of these guys individually. But this week has been special because we have a lot of different panelists. But basically it's like, if you are looking for structure and guidance on how to kind of create a brand and a business in the music career, I really think that we are the right spot for you. We provide trainings, consultations, and just overall guidance and motivation that you can actually make a living doing what you love. Vinny, sitting right there, has been doing it for over a decade. You can do it. It may not look exactly like what you picture, with a bunch of Grammys or whatnot, but you can make a living doing it, and we want to help you do that. So I really hope that you consider joining our membership. You can join for free at artistcollect.com/industry chat. And if you're a little bit on the fence and you want to listen to more of the chats, you can listen on anchor.fm/industry chat. Basically takes you to every podcast to ever exist. You can listen to little snippets, pretty much cut them in half, 30% or so. And hopefully you like what you hear, and we will see you in the membership. But this has been a great series. I appreciate everybody being here. I appreciate you three gentlemen, Vinny, for being here all 7 days, providing his knowledge. But if you want to follow these guys or follow up with them, here's their Instagrams here. Definitely know that Andre, they're going to want you to follow up with them on their platform. So please shoot Richie a text. I should have added your phone number here. I'm so stupid. But
I just dropped it, but
great.
yeah, I just dropped it. But everybody could connect with you. You know, if they want to try out Blossom, you already know.
Yeah. I dropped my number in there. Shoot me a text and I'll connect the dots. But we're going to be having a training on the 9th of April. We're going to really dive deep into what you can do with Blossom. It's really simple. It's really cool, you guys. So I'm excited to see that. And we'll have one set up with Loom as well. But again, guys, I really appreciate your time. And I hopefully will see you when the dust settles of this apocalypse.
Most definitely. Thanks again, Evan.
Thank you,
no problem.
Evan, Vinny, Andre. Thank you, guys.
See you guys.
Likewise. Thanks, Richie. Looking forward to connecting.
Absolutely.
Peace.
Stay safe.
You too.